Old Sultan by Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm. There was once a shepherd who had a faithful dog named Sultan. For many years Sultan had served his master well, but now he had grown very old and had lost all his teeth. One day, as the shepherd and his wife stood together outside their home, the shepherd said, "Tomorrow morning I'll have to shoot Old Sultan. He's of no use now." His wife looked at him sadly and replied, "Oh, please let the poor faithful creature live. He served us so well for so many years. We ought to give him comfort for the rest of his days." But the shepherd shook his head. "What can we do with him? He has no teeth, and thieves aren't afraid of him anymore. True, he's served us well, but only to earn his keep. Tomorrow will be his last day, depend on it." Poor Sultan, who was lying nearby, heard every word. His heart filled with fear at the thought that tomorrow might be his final day. That evening, he went into the woods to visit his old friend, the wolf, and told him everything, how his master planned to kill him. The wolf listened and said, "Don't worry, my friend. I'll give you some good advice. Tomorrow morning your master will go to the fields with his wife, and they'll take their little child along. They usually lay the child down behind the hedge while they work. You lie close to the baby and pretend to be watching it. I'll come out of the woods and run away with the child. You chase me, bark loudly, and I'll let it go. Then you can bring the baby back, and your master will believe you've saved it. He'll be so grateful. He'll take care of you for the rest of your life." Sultan thought this was an excellent plan, and the next morning everything happened just as the wolf had said. The wolf ran off with the child. The shepherd and his wife screamed in terror, but Old Sultan sprang into action, chased after the wolf, and soon caught up. The wolf dropped the baby, and Sultan gently carried it back to his master and mistress. The shepherd was overjoyed. He patted Sultan's head and said, "Old Sultan has saved our child from the wolf. From this day on, he shall live well, be cared for, and have all he needs. Wife, go home and give him a fine dinner, and let him sleep on my old cushion for the rest of his days." From that moment, Sultan had everything he could wish for. Soon after, the wolf came to visit him and said, "Well, my friend, you must keep your word. Don't tell anyone about what we did, and when I come for one of your master's fat sheep, turn your head the other way." But Sultan said firmly, "No, I'll stay true to my master." The wolf thought he was joking, but one night when he came to steal a sheep, Sultan warned the shepherd, who waited behind the barn door with a stout club. When the wolf came prowling, the shepherd beat him soundly until he barely escaped with his fur intact. The wolf was furious. "You old rogue," he shouted. "You'll regret this. I'll have my revenge." The next morning, the wolf sent the wild boar to challenge Sultan to a fight in the woods. Sultan had no one to help him except the shepherd's old three-legged cat, so he asked her to come along. Though she limped with every step, she held her tail straight up in the air. Meanwhile, the wolf and the boar arrived first. When they saw Sultan and the cat coming, they grew nervous. The cat's tail looked so sharp and straight they thought it was a sword, and every time she limped they thought she was bending down to pick up a stone to throw. "This doesn't look good," said the boar, so he hid behind a bush while the wolf climbed up into a tree. When Sultan and the cat reached the clearing, they looked around in confusion. No one was there, but the boar hadn't hidden very well, and his ears stuck out of the bush. The cat spotted one of them twitch, and thinking it was a mouse, pounced and bit it hard. The boar leapt up with a loud grunt and ran away, squealing, "Look up in the tree!" "That's the one you want." Sultan looked up and saw the wolf trembling among the branches. "Cowardly rascal!" cried Sultan. The wolf was so ashamed that he climbed down, apologized, and promised to be friends with Old Sultan once more. And from that day on, they lived in peace again. The end.